Here's that Cadillac for Frozen Canuck. I came by here again. Nice car, eh? Let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know, can I zoom in? Maybe my zoomer's broken. Okay, there's that Cadillac I talked about in the last vlog. It's now taxi vlog 409. I just come back from the airport. Actually, I picked up at the airport, and I brought this kid back into town. Got $80 for that $67 fare. Excellent. I'll let you know how the night went at the end of it. Oh, it's just after 5 in the morning. We're coming on to the Chinatown gates. You see those? Those are gates at Chinatown. Gates of Harmonious something or other. I forget the name of them. Oh, beautiful morning. Looks like it's going to be another warm day. I had a good night. I had a very good night. As soon as I got into that little parking lot where I usually sit, I got a call. I didn't get a call. This guy wandered up to me and says, "Can I take your cab?" I said, "Well, sure." He says, "I'm going out to Esquimalt Lagoon." $32 later, he's done the Esquimalt Lagoon thing, and now he wants to go. That was a hooker on the side of the road. Did you see that? He wants to go and go to Esquimalt Lagoon. Yeah. A couple hours later, I got a call. I got a call from that guy who last week couldn't pay me because there was no money in his bank account, and then the next day he paid me double the fare. Well, I got a call from him to go pick up his son at the airport, and while I got to the airport, the plane had been early, so I didn't see any people at the baggage claim, and I didn't see any customers or passengers coming out. The next plane was due in like 2 hours. But then I saw this other taxi driver trying to get this young guy to go with him. And I said, "You wouldn't be so-and-so's son, would you?" And he says, Yeah. I said, "Well, he sent me out here to come and get you." So it was $67 to take him to Langford. And $67 to take him to Langford, and it was, I got a tip out of that. It was like $80 the total. So on those two fares alone, I got more than $100. The rest of the night I just coasted, and it was a pretty good night. I haven't counted the money or anything, but I watched some videos in the parking lot, and I fell asleep a couple times, and now I've got a little less than an hour to go. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I can't complain about any of it. And there's Douglas Street at 5:08 a.m. So it looks like my week began nicely. It kicked off just the way I would like it to. I mean, what are the chances? Your first trip, the guy wanders up to you and says, "Take me for $32. Ah, that's wonderful. That's good. So, and the week will go on from here. I'm going to stop babbling and just get to tomorrow. Oh, it's about 5 in the morning on Wednesday morning. So we've just done the Tuesday. As far as Tuesdays go, it was nothing spectacular. It was really quiet until, well, after midnight even. I broke even at, I think about 1 o'clock after being sent out the peninsula to the hospital to bring someone home. She's a nurse or something, and who was kind of working out there. And she was, she had to cut her shift short in order to, well, it's a long story, whatever. Anyway, she did a $33 fare, which got me over that hump and made it so that I was making a profit. And since then, I did go to sleep a couple times. I watched some movies. I guess maybe I made about $80 for myself. You know, and considering that it took till 1 to break even, that's not too bad. Maybe I can get one more trip before the end of my shift. This was looking like the stinker of the week, but it's it's not that bad. Not compared to the Monday I had. The Monday was fabulous and spectacular. So anyway, so far this week, I guess it'll be an average early week of the month. Beginning of June is usually not a busy time, so I wasn't expecting a lot last night. Anyways, yeah, here's the morning. It might be warm again and humid. I'm tired. Well, it's never a dull moment. Well, that's not entirely true. Last night, there were several dull moments. I came out to work, and, you know, I waited for about an hour for the first one, and got a short trip, and waited for about an hour for the next one, and that was also a short trip, and waited an hour for the next one, and that was a short trip. And so I did a lot of waiting, and I watched videos and movies, and I fell asleep a few times. Well, I broke even around midnight or so, and, well, it could have been better, but it could have been worse. And over the next couple hours, I had about 4 fares. 2 fares in a row, then waited about an hour, and then another 2 fares in a row. Okay, fine. So moving on from there, I thought I'd park myself in the parking lot and watch a movie. I watched part of a movie. I woke up during part of the next movie, and woke up briefly during something that was after that movie, and then, well, first let me get rid of this trash here. Let me just chuck it in there. Oh, you get off my finger, will you? Okay. Got rid of the trash. And I'm glad it's not a very hot day today, because that thing would reek of fish, like salmon. And I'm not crazy about salmon, even when it's fresh. I like it smoked, yeah. Smoked salmon's good, but cooked, baked, or fresh, ugh, don't like it. Okay, where was I? Yeah. The phone was awful loud sitting on my sun visor, and I woke up and turned the volume down, and the volume didn't go down. You know what happened? It was the MDT was tweeting at me to send me on another trip, which I missed. But I was still up in the zone because the call had originated in another zone, which maybe it was a good thing I missed it. I don't know. Never know about these things. But, you know, after waiting 3 hours, I miss a call. Sad, sad, sad. Fortunately enough, about 3 or 4 minutes later, I got another call. And that was $15 taking someone to work in the morning. And then immediately when I dropped that one off, this was like luck, I got another call. Another $15 fare, taking someone home who had been out all night. So $30 at the very end. Waiting 3 hours, I guess that makes $10 an hour. So when you add up the whole night, it was nothing spectacular. That was a Wednesday night. Now it's Thursday evening. It's a little bit cloudy up there. There's the sun somewhere in there. It's blue to the south and blue to the east. Last night it was the opposite. Last night it was sunny in those directions there, north and west, but it was cloudy to the east and the south. Interesting. I guess our weather patterns are swirling or something. Well, anyway, it hasn't been... Monday was spectacular, so like Tuesday and Wednesday were a little below par. They were definitely below par. Making it just about average so far for the week. But that's to be expected. First half of June usually is kind of slow. It's a very good time to take a vacation, if you can afford it. I suppose I could, but I've got other vacations coming up. There's going to be camping in beginning of August, and in October there's a music festival. Which reminds me, I got to renew my passport real soon, among other things. And, oh, the taxi has come in. So that's all good. I'll get back to you at the end of the night or the beginning of tomorrow or something. Talk to you sooner. It was an average night. It was a Thursday night. I'm extremely tired. I fell asleep a number of times at work. It took until about midnight to get my expenses on. And then I doubled that amount. I guess it's acceptable, considering how I feel right now and how burnt out I am. It's a wonder I got through the night. Or at least it feels that way. I don't know, maybe I'm under the weather and it rained last night and the atmospheric pressure is different because these clouds came in and just wiped me right out. And of course I stayed up a little too long last couple mornings in a row. So that was the end of the Thursday night. It was unremarkable, except there was one chick. She had like a thing in her nose, you know, it goes right there. I think those things are disgusting. And she had all kinds of piercings and tattoos, and she was like a hippie chick, and she had some kind of oil. She called it a thieves oil. She said, "Do you mind if I put some oil on my feet?" So she took off her boots and she put this oil that was like a mixture of cloves and lavender and cinnamon and a bunch of other spices. And it reeked. She says, "Oh, you don't do oil therapy and aromatherapy?" I said, "No. I like things to smell clean, and that's all." So the inside of the car reeks now of that oil. Anyway, I'm here at my mailbox. Let's see if there's any mail. Here we're going. We're down near the water, near the passing through downtown, kinda. And it's been relatively busy night up to this point. It's now 3:45 in the morning. Already the sky's looking like it's turning blue. Yeah, use your imagination just a little bit. From here it looks like it's turning blue, but maybe on the camera it's not or on the phone it's not picking that up. Okay. Well, it's been quite an adventure. As soon as I came out to work, I was busy. It was one call after another. Not necessarily busy with people in the car, but busy getting sent to somewhere else, often far away from where I was. And there was one point where I had been sitting for a little while. This was around 9 o'clock, just after 9. And I'd been sitting in my customary spot of preference. And I got sent to out the road, out the highway to the Howard Johnson out of town. And it said that John was in the restaurant. So I went out there, I got to the restaurant, and I called the number, and it was the front desk of the hotel. And I said, well, it's a taxi outside for John. He's inside the restaurant. I said, yeah, I'll tell them. So, next thing you know, there's this older guy. I guess he's about 60 years old. He comes out. He's carrying a bag. And he's walking funny. He's walking crooked, like he's injured. So I figure, oh yeah, it's some old guy who went for dinner. And he came in and he started babbling about what a classy place it was. And I smelled cider on his breath. It was strong smell of cider. And it really reeked bad. And he wanted to go downtown. Get some hash downtown. Is that a cop? No, that's not a cop. Okay. I've just kind of got my eyes peeled for cops when I'm using this phone here. So, and all the way downtown, the guy he's babbling. He's just not making any sense. I cannot understand a thing he's saying. He's just babbling incoherently the whole way down. And I sort of nod every now and then, and every now and then I say, yeah, oh yeah, I know, yeah. You know, things like that. Just make it look like I'm agreeing with him all the way. And he'd say something that he'd ask me a question, and I'd say, I have no idea. I'm sorry, I don't know. Anyway, I'm figuring he wants to go down at Pandora Street where all the drugs are usually done. But if he wants something like hash, he can probably get it at the dispensary, as they have dispensaries all over town now. You can get hash and weed and all of that, from what I understand, and just pay for it without a doctor's prescription or anything. You can just go and buy it. So I think they've made it more or less legal here, one way or another. Something like that. So anyway, I was about to turn right onto the street, onto Pandora down at Quadra, and then I says, no, you go the other way. Oh, and it turns out he was going to a place called My Place. It's like a homeless shelter. Or is it My Place or Our Place? Something like that. It's a homeless freaking shelter. So I take this guy to the homeless shelter, and once we're there, he's reaching in his pocket, and he's pulling out some money. On the clock is $21.75. He's got a 20 and a 5. And he said, I had $70. What happened to all my money? And I'm looking at him. And he said, I can't be broke. And I said, well, I didn't take it. And at this point in time, you owe me $21.75. I saw a 20 and a 5 in his hand. And he says, but how do I get back to the ferry? I said, well, that's not my problem. That's your problem. How you do that is up to you. But right now you owe me $21.75. And he said, but I can't be broke like this. Who took my money? I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have it. But you owe me $21.75. So he threw me the 20 and he started climbing out of the car, and he said, and I said, you keep going. Get out of here. Okay. So I got $20 for that $21.75. I made up for that in tips somewhere, I'm sure. Then there were a lot of people who had had too much to drink, too fast. At one point, I dropped off some people downtown, and I'm driving down the road, and there are these two girls in the crosswalk, and they're waving at me, and they're saying, can you come down to the canoe club and pick someone up? I say, are you going with? They say, oh, yes. So I find this a little odd, but then when we get down to canoe club, one of the girls goes into the canoe club, and the other one sort of stays back with the cab, and then she goes ahead, and she goes past a bush, and there's a little bit of a commotion down there, and there's these two girls trying to get this guy out of the canoe club and towards the cab, and he falls into a bush. Like, no, I'm out of there. I drove away. I'm not picking up this guy. I don't want him in my car. At another point in time, I drove someone out to the Western Communities, and on the way back, I got sent to pick someone up at Wilkinson and Interurban, and she wants to go downtown. She was a pleasant enough drunk, but she was babbling, and she was going down to the Sticky Wicket. Okay, fine, good. And her friend who was with her, he was laughing too. So we had a fun little ride. Somewhat later, I guess it was around 1:30 or so, I get sent to an address just near the Oak Bay Junction, near Oak Bay. And I get there, and it's a big old house, and on the lawn, on the balcony in front of the house, there's the light on. And this girl comes down, and she's smoking a cigarette, and I open up the window, and she says, my friend will be with you shortly. And I'm getting sent to a regular. Well, that's good. My friend will be with you shortly, she said. He's drunk. And I say, oh, well, good for him. And she says, he has to go to, and gives me an address. And I say, oh, really? And she says, he won't be any trouble at all. He'll probably just fall asleep in the back seat. And at that point I said, well, that's it, cut right in front of me. I said to her, maybe he should sleep it off here. And I drove away. Because I am not your fucking babysitter. I drive people places. People who can talk to me and tell me where they're going. If they need somebody else to tell me where they're going, and then I'm seeing this guy staggering all over coming down the stairs, he's staggering. It's like, no, I don't want to deal with this guy. Fuck. If he's going to fall asleep in my car, it's not my job to wake you up. No. We get a green light. Anyways, if anything memorable happens between now, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and the end of the shift, which will be at 6, I'll say I hope yours is better than mine. Otherwise, I'll be right back to tell you more. I guess you could say the week turned out okay money-wise. I guess you could say it was kind of a little much stress-wise on Friday. Because Friday, Friday is stressful. You're driving straight for 8 hours or more. There's no breaks. And every time you get sent somewhere, it's sent far away to get somebody who may be going a good distance or who might not be going very far. At this point in time, oh, this is heavenly. At this point in time, right here, right now, although I keep saying that I hope yours is better than mine, right now, while I'm looking at this glass, mine is better than yours. Sláinte.